Steve Wozniak, the iPhone, and Gary Busey are all on this day. Hey, welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is June 29th. It is the 181st day of the year. There are 185 days left in 2020. It is the 26th Monday and the 9th day of summer. We only got 85 days till fall. I think we can use a little summer right now. It's still kind of cloudy and gloomy here in Portland, Oregon. Today is also National Camera Day. National Camera Day commemorates photographers, cameras, and their invention. The word photography is based on two Greek words. When you put them together, they mean writing with light. The world's first known photograph was taken in 1825. National Camera Day is observed every year on June 29th. All right, let's see what else June 29th has given us. 1915, the North Saskatchewan River happens. This was the worst flood in Edmonton history. It was reported the river had risen 10 feet in as many hours. Thousands of Edmonton residents watched as the flood destroyed lumber mills and homes along the city's river valley. At the time, the damage was estimated to be about 500,000, which would make it almost 650 million today. This left about 2,000 people homeless. Thankfully, though, there was no deaths. 1927, the Bird of Paradise, a U.S. Army Air Corps Fokker tri-motor airplane, completes the first trans-Pacific flight from mainland United States to Hawaii. This was historical, but it was kind of back-page stuff. It really got pushed to the background because Charles Lindbergh did his transatlantic flight only 5 weeks earlier. 1956, the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956 is signed by U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower. This officially created the United States Interstate Highway System. This had an original authorization of $25 billion for the construction of 41,000 miles of interstate highway. Supposedly, this was going to happen over 10 years. It was the largest public works project in American history at that time. Oddly enough, we've only added an additional 6,000 interstate highway miles since it started, and that's according to Google. 1974, Mikhail Brezhnev defects from the Soviet Union to Canada while on tour. He is a Latvian-born Russian-American dancer, choreographer, and actor. He is known for being one of the greatest male ballet dancers in history. While on tour in Canada with the Bolshoi Ballet Company, Brezhnev defected, requesting political asylum in Toronto, and he joined the National Ballet of Canada for a brief time in a guest role. Now, he did a great movie with Gregory Hines called White Nights, where he played a dancer, much like his own story, but he was flying someplace, and the plane had to make an emergency stop, and they had to land in Russia. Well, he had defected from Russia, so he was freaked out. This is the character he's playing in the movie. Obviously, it kind of mirrored his life. I'm not a big dancing fan, but this was a great movie. And then I started thinking, whatever happened to Gregory Hines? He kind of fell off the map, you know? He hasn't done movies in years. And then I realized, after I looked him up, he died in 2003, so that would explain his absence from the movie screen. 1975, Steve Wozniak tests the first prototype of the Apple I computer. The idea of selling the computer came from Wozniak's friend, Steve Jobs. To finance this creation, Jobs sold his Volkswagen microbus, that was his only means of transportation, and Wozniak sold an HP 65 calculator for $500. As of 2019, Apple's yearly revenue is about $260 billion. They employ over 137,000 people. That was in 2019. Who knows what's going on here in 2020? But it was definitely a smart move selling a calculator and a microbus. 1995, the Space Shuttle program. Space Shuttle Atlantis docked with the Russian space station Mir for the first time. For 5 days, the Space Shuttle was docked with Mir. This made them the largest spacecraft in orbit at the time. This mission marked the first docking of a space shuttle to a space station ever, and the first time a shuttle crew switched members with the crew of a space station. 2007, Apple Incorporated releases its first mobile phone, the iPhone. It is hard to believe 14 years ago my cell phone was just an afterthought. Now I can't function properly without it. I was actually a little sad the iPhone 11 release date was pushed back because of the whole COVID-19 thing. But in reality, I still think the iPhone 6 or 7 Pro was my favorite. The iPad I never got into, but we'll see how the iPhone 11 works out. The iPhone 10 is kind of meh. I still think the 6 and 7 were kind of revolutionary in that department. Movies released on January 29th, 1988. Coming to America, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. James Earl Jones was in it too. Great movie, hysterical. 2001, AI, Artificial Intelligence. Steven Spielberg's movie. This movie was so good, and I don't know why people don't look at it as one of his greatest movies. But if you really want to feel insignificant as a person or as a anything, the end of that movie, towards the end I should say, after he's unfrozen, will just there's this scene you just feel like, why am I even doing any of this? My life means nothing. It's weird. It's a mind game. Anyway, Artificial Intelligence. Great movie. Born on June 29th, 1944, everyone's freak, Gary Busey, American actor and Hollywood lunatic. And I don't think it has anything to do with the motorcycle accident he had years ago. I think he's always been weird. 1953, Colin Hey, Scottish-Australian singer and guitarist, most famous for the 1980s band Men at Work. The song I Come From a Land Down Under, great song. If you ever want to see something really good, or hear something good, go on YouTube and find his acoustic version of Overkill. They did it on the TV show Scrubs one time, and that's a great version. Check it out. Died on June 29th. This is a twofer. 1967, Primo Carnera, who was an Italian boxer and actor. This guy was huge. He was like a 6'6" heavyweight boxer back in the 1930s. He got defeated by Joe Louis. It seemed like all the big names of the time beat him, but he beat everyone else. It was like when he got to that pinnacle, they seemed to beat him. Also on the same day, Jane Mansfield, American actress. She was one of these blonde bombshell types, the Marilyn Monroe types back in the day. She's actually the mother of Law & Order's Olivia Benson. That's the character she plays, but Mariska Hargitay. 2003, we lost Katharine Hepburn, American actress. She was named by the American Film Institute the greatest female star of classic Hollywood cinema. She was also a leading lady in Hollywood for over 60 years and appeared in a range of genres. She died at the age of 96 due to a cardiac arrest. That's a good time, 96. Hope we all live that long. All right, that is today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm back. I went on a trip and took about a week and a half off. Anyway, back to normal. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.